Hello friends, Jai Shri Ram. Say whatever you want about Donald Trump, but one thing is certain, he is a man of his words. He never breaks his promises. He made a lot of promises, very tall promises during his presidential campaign, but slowly and steadily he is fulfilling most of these promises. He had also promised that the first 100 days of his presidency will be phenomenal. And yes, phenomenal they are, because in the very first 5 days of his presidency, he has already signed 33 executive orders. And all these executive orders are very, very important. Or as Donald Trump would say, is they are huge. On the first day, he signed 26 executive orders. Second day, 1, third day, 1, fourth day, 4, fifth day, 1. So total 33 executive orders so far. Now, I have seen many videos in which a few of these executive orders have been discussed and they have talk shows on that. But no one has summarized all these executive orders in one video, and hence I'm making this video. Another thing is, I will also tell you where you can find these executive orders on whitehouse.com, how to search for that, and which parts of the executive orders are important, which parts are not, which parts are copy and pasted across all of them. I'll explain all this. But before that, I'll also explain to you why POTUS, that is President of the United States, is such an important position. So let's compare the head of states in India and the US. In India, there is a lot of checks and balances. We have 4 wings of the government. Legislative makes the laws. That means these are the netas who sit in our parliaments. Then administrative wing is that wing which executes those laws. Judiciary is that wing which interprets those laws. Okay, and media is media. Media tries to speak about whatever is the wrongdoing in all these 3 wings. Okay, and their sources cannot be challenged. So if a media person says कि सूत्रों के हवाले से पता चला है, then you cannot ask him कि आपके सूत्र कौन से हैं हमें बताइए. So that is the immunity that media has. You can never you can never say that the media has defamed me, and you can never put a defamation case on media people. So this is how India works. These are the 4 pillars of democracy, and they always keep on having checks and balances upon each other, so that none of these 3 wings become so powerful that it will overshadow everything else. But in America, that is not the case. In America, president is the one person who overshadows everything. Even Department of Justice, that means the judiciary of America, it is a small part of executive wing, and the top of the executive wing is the president. Every agency in America, every department in America, all of them ultimately report to the president. And president has 2 superpowers. First superpower is the president can pardon anybody. May that person be a murderer, rapist, child molester, anybody, terrorist. Still, presidential pardon works for them. And the second superpower that a president has is that they can order. Quite literally, they can order the entire country. So all the departments come under the president, all the agencies come under the president. Department of Justice is led by Attorney General, and he also reports to the president. So president can very well order the Attorney General to do something, or order a certain department to do something, and those orders are called as executive orders. So this is the second superpower that every US president has. How much powerful are these executive orders? Well, nobody in the entire country can challenge this executive order. Yes, technically people say that they can be challenged in the court of law, but if the Attorney General itself is reporting to the president, I find it very unlikely that the judicial system will rule against a sitting president. So in real life, a presidential order or this executive order can only be challenged by some other president who will come after him. Like Biden's executive orders can be challenged by Trump, and Trump can strike them down. Okay, and this happens very common. It's a very common scene in America that let's say Obama made some executive orders, Donald Trump after coming, he struck them down. Then Biden came, Biden struck down Trump's executive orders, and now Biden left and Trump came, so Trump is now striking down all the executive orders that Biden had signed. Okay, so let's get started. So this was a background I wanted to tell you, just to let you know how important presidential position is in the US democracy. In India, on the other hand, we have a lot of checks and balances, so PM post is important. It's very, very important, but PM cannot go rogue in a country like India. But in America, he is supposed to stay rogue, because Americans believe that if you really want to change something, then you need a disruptive person who will change things. And they have that power only for 4 years. One term is of 4 years, and they can have only 2 terms. Okay, now Donald Trump has already exhausted his first term. Now this is the second term and the last term that Donald Trump is enjoying. So these are the final 4 years of presidency that Donald Trump will ever enjoy in his lifetime, and he is making the best use of it. Okay, now the next thing I wanted to discuss about is how common are the executive orders. How many executive orders should a president give? So I have listed a couple of presidents of America, a few names that you might be aware of. Of course, Donald Trump must be like which 47th PM, I guess. Let me find out. Donald Trump wiki. Yeah, he is the 47th president of America. So I could not list down all the 47 names. So I have listed a couple of them which are famous in India. Now amongst them you will see George Washington. He was the first president. He signed 8 executive orders. So executive orders is not a new thing to America. All the presidents have done it right from their first president. Some presidents have gone to the extent of signing 3,721 executive orders, while some others stayed only at 4. Donald Trump is somewhere in between. Donald Trump, in the first presidency, he signed 220 executive orders, and in the current presidency so far, he has signed 33 executive orders. Now, I will enlist all the work that Donald Trump has done till now in the second term. So, his second term has only 5 days have gone so far. Within these 5 days, what did he do? Let us find it out. Well, let me start with the thing that he did even before coming to office. So he came to office on 20th of January. Even before that, on 19th itself, the Israel-Hamas war stopped. And many people are giving credit to Donald Trump, although he was not even a sitting president at that time. How did Trump achieve this? Well, Trump threatened both the sides. So first of all, on 3rd of December, he threatened Hamas that, see, I'm now president-elect, in next 1 month you will see me. So, you better get your books correct. You better get into my good books. Otherwise, all hell will break loose if you don't end this war before I become the president. So that is a threat that he gave to the Hamas people. Then 1 month went off, 1 month went by, and then he once again threatened somebody else also, and that somebody is the best friend of United States, that is Israel. Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu. Now there was an economist called Jeffrey Sachs. He had a video about in which he was criticizing Israel. He was saying that this Benjamin Netanyahu is a deep, dark son of a bitch. He has always been manipulating the foreign policy of US, and he has kept us engaged in all these Middle Eastern conflicts. We have no business to be there, except that Benjamin Netanyahu is so good in pulling or manipulating our leaders, and they get engrossed into all these Middle Eastern conflicts. So he called him a deep, dark son of a bitch. Now what Donald Trump did is, Donald Trump posted that video of economist Jeffrey Sachs. Now obviously he was president-elect at that time. It was 1st of January. So in next 20 days he was going to be the sitting president of United States. So this went as a statement from the US that, see, US thinks this thing about Israel, and he wanted to clip the wings of Benjamin Netanyahu, because Benjamin Netanyahu, after 7th October, he has been on a rampage against all the 3H, that means Houthis, Hamas and Hezbollahs. He has completely destroyed Hezbollah, Hamas, which is there in Gaza. He has almost decimated them, killed so many people in Hamas, also some civilians also died. But you see, there is always collateral damage, he couldn't help it. And the only one edge that is left is the Houthis in Yemen. But he tried his level best to destroy all three of them, and then he also tried to keep Iran under control. So he is wild at this time, and Donald Trump just wanted to give a message that, please calm yourself down. Before I become the president, end this war. I don't want this war anymore. Why does Donald Trump not want that war? Because Americans also get caught into it. First of all, America's money gets spent over there. Second of all, American people are also taken as hostage. For example, in the 7th October attack, 33 hostages were taken by Hamas people. Now these Hamas people, out of these 33 people, 2 were Americans. And that is what Donald Trump cares about, that although they were Jewish only, but still they are American citizens. What Donald Trump doesn't like is, how dare you touch my citizens? And this is not even my conflict. What have I got to do in this? So don't touch my citizens. That is his say. And so he's threatening Hamas as well as Israel. So due to this, by 19th of January, that means one day before Donald Trump became the president, both the parties declared that, see, we have come to a consensus. We will send across those 33 people that we have held hostage. And Israel also said, okay, what do you want? Okay, you want 1,000 terrorists to be released? Okay, we'll release 1,000 terrorists, but we don't want to continue this war. So both of them came to a consensus, and this happened before Donald Trump assumed his office. That's the power of Donald Trump. Now the next thing that he did is, he joined the office on 20th of January. Now many people would think that a president, after joining the office, he would get to know how things are, who's working in the government and all, he'll get to know people. No, it's Donald Trump. So since this is his second term, he knows how things work. So he signed 26 executive orders, one after the other. Okay, and there are so many executive orders. See, I'll just list them down just to explain it to you how big it is. 26 executive orders. If I start reading it, then I'll take maybe 5-10 minutes just to read them out. Okay, he signed all of them in a single day. Now, it is very difficult for you to understand all of them one by one, or it will be a very long video. So I have clubbed them together in groups, maybe 4 or 5 groups I have created, and in every group, whatever executive orders are there, they actually complement each other, and overall they have some effect. That overall effect I'll explain to you. Okay, it will save your time as well as mine. So let me highlight a few of them. Here I have highlighted a few of them in white. Let me read them out to you, and then you will realize where I am going. So this group of executive orders all speak about removal of DEI and favoring meritocracy. Okay, so let me read them out. Initial recessions of harmful executive orders means whatever harmful executive orders Biden had put in place, receding them. That means pulling them back. Then ensuring federal employee accountability means, federal means at the central level, whatever employees are there, that is called as federal government and federal employees. So federal employees must be accountable. Means if they are not performing well, I should be able to, or their seniors should be able to fire them. If even more serious than this is, if there is dissubordination, that means if your subordinate refuses your orders, then also you should have a right to take disciplinary action up to the extent that you remove that person. So that kind of accountability has to be built in the federal employees. Then Department of Governmental efficiency. That means everything that the government does, all the government institutions should be efficient. Let's make them efficient. It should not be like, oh, it's public sector work, yaar, come on, no one can remove me, oh, my performance doesn't matter, what will you do? That should not happen. Your efficiency should be directly related to whether you'll stay on your job or not. It will be directly related to your promotions. Okay, so just like we have in the corporate culture, in the government also, Donald Trump wants to bring that efficiency flow. Gender ideology extremism. So again, DEI was removed. Ending DEI programs and preferencing. Preferencing means while giving a job also, if you prefer that, oh, he, she, it, or they are coming from a different gender than male or female, then they'll be given a little more preference because it is good to show now that we are DEI friendly. This used to happen during Biden presidency, but Donald Trump said that this has to end. This excessive DEI extremism or this preferencing based on DEI should end. That's what Donald Trump says. Then Donald Trump also says that government service, all the people that you are hiring in government for government service these hirings should be merit based. They should not be based on DEI or, oh, they belong to African descent, so why don't I have an African person also? It will add a little diversity to my team. Those things should not be taken into consideration while hiring people. That's what Donald Trump says. Okay, so let me summarize whatever all of them say. DEI is no longer a US policy. What is DEI? DEI stands for diversity, equity, inclusivity. Diversity means, oh, let people coming from different cultures, different races, different genders come together. The more the diversity, better the team is. So that is called as diversity. Equity does not mean equality. Equality means give everybody a level playing field to start a race. No. You say that, see, a certain person is an athlete. All their progeny means their father was an athlete, mother was an athlete. So, you let that athletic person start from a little behind. And suppose a person, he has never been into athletics, he has never run, and he has been through a very downtrodden society. So now when he is there competing with an athlete, give him a little head start. Make that person start from a little in front. Okay, so that now both of them have equal chances of winning. So equalize the chances of everybody. That is called as equity. So equity is different, equality is different. Donald Trump supporters would say that there should be level playing field, let there be equality. And Biden supporters would say, that is left wingers would say, that equality is not always there, so you should strive for equity because people come from different backgrounds. Let us make their possibility to win equal. Okay, that is called as equity. So DE. Now what is I? I means inclusivity. Include everybody. Oh, if there is a person coming from a Muslim background, she is wearing a headscarf, that is his hijab. Oh, let her be part of the team. Oh, don't force it on her that she should show her head. No, please understand. If there is a Sikh person, oh, don't ask them to be to look more like a Christian. No, it's absolutely okay. I mean, everybody is welcome. You come from any background, show that background. It's absolutely okay. So that is called as inclusivity. Include everybody. Okay, every race, every culture, include everybody. That is inclusivity. Now, on the face value, DEI seems to be a very good thing. But the problem arises when hirings happen based on DEI. Oh, there is somebody who calls themselves as gay, then okay, then I should hire that person so that my team looks good. Okay, so that I can show off that my team has so much of diversity. Okay, now that it gets ugly at that time. Otherwise, for example, while hiring a firefighter should be muscular. You have a muscular male or a muscular female or a muscular any gender, that's okay, but they should be muscular. Suppose people start hiring DEI recruits who are not physically well built, and they cannot carry a man on their shoulder and take them out from a burning home. If they cannot do that, and then there are able-bodied men, 700 able-bodied men in the same state who are unemployed, but you want to give this post to a DEI recruit just so that your team looks diverse, then this DEI thing defeats the whole purpose. This DEI looks very ugly at that time. So there are both these situations. I have only explained the situation. I am not giving my opinion, but this is how the left wing and the right wing are divided in America. Left wing says that DEI is very important. Right wing says, see, keep it under control. You cannot bring that DEI in each and everything. Now, Donald Trump, being a right winger, says that DEI is no longer a policy of the US. Terminate all the DEI agencies and posts. So in the Biden administration, to enforce DEI, they had various agencies which kept a check. On private companies also they kept a check. In government institutions also they kept a check that DEI standards are followed. Donald Trump, being a right winger, when he came to power, he said, see, these agencies should be sacked. These posts, that means whosoever was working in those agencies on whichever post, those posts no longer exist. You will be sacked, you will be fired. Okay, we don't want anything to do with DEI. That's what Donald Trump says. Now the US recognizes only two sexes. Now Donald Trump says, see, when you say gender, there is nothing called gender. There is only sex. Sex means what? What is the difference between sex and gender? Sex means which genitalia you were born with. So if you are born with a penis, and if you can give an XY chromosomes, means if you have these two chromosomes, then you are a male. And if you are born with a vagina and you have X and X chromosomes, then you are a female. Now some people started saying that, see, sometimes the genitalia is not like that. So in that case, how does US define what is a male and a female? So US says it's based on your chromosomes. Okay, if you produce or if you have chromosomes XY, then you are a male. No matter how your genitalia is, you might say that, see, I have breast also and I have penis also, so call me a transgender. No, US says you are still a male because chromosome wise you are a male. That's it. Okay, now when I say US under Donald Trump, after after all these executive orders, now this is US policy that who is a male? Male is somebody having XY chromosomes. That's it. I don't care what your genitalia is or how you feel about your sexuality. I don't care about it. I care about your chromosome, because that is something that you cannot cheat. You cannot change it. Feelings, people can cheat. People can say, oh, today I feel like a male. Tomorrow I might say, oh, I feel like a female. Suppose I have to enter into a tournament and I cannot take down a male, then I might say, oh, I'm a female trapped in a male's body, so I'm a trans woman, so please allow me to compete with a woman, and then I'll beat the shit out of that woman. This is what has happened in Olympics, last Olympics. So that will come to an end if you clearly define what is male and what is female. And then Donald Trump says that, whenever you have any government forms or official documentation, you do not give too many options. You don't say what is your gender, male, female, other, oh, I don't want to tell. Nothing like that. You have to say whether you're a male or a female, and it should be based on your chromosomes. It is as simple as that. So this simplifies the life. That's what Donald Trump says, that it simplifies the life. And besides, Donald Trump also says that what is gender after all? Gender means how you look at yourself, how you look at your sexuality, that is called a gender. And I have this video in which I have explained in a great amount of detail what is gender, what is the difference between sex and gender. There are many, many genders. Now, if you have so many genders on the government forms, and that's the reason why they don't have so many genders on the government form, they say male, female, other. But Donald Trump says, don't even say other. A person is either a male or a female based on their chromosome. That's it. Okay. Now, government hirings shall never be done based on gender. Again, I told you, preferential treatment to a certain gender just so that you look diverse, that should not happen. Based on race also, based on religion also, such preferential treatment should not be given. Then hiring will be based purely on merit and willingness to serve America. So Donald Trump says that if you are hiring for a government position, then the hiring should not be based on DEI standards. It should not be based on race, it should not be based on religion, it should not be based on your gender, nothing like that. It should be based purely on your merit, how much capable you are in exercising those duties. And second thing that you should consider is, if two people have the same amount of expertise, then who will you choose? See who is more willing to serve America. In the case of DEI hires that Biden used to do, or in Biden's presidency they used to happen, many a times they used to be hired just because they were from diverse cultures or diverse gender. That was the only criteria for taking them many a times. And due to this, what happened? Many of them, so especially those who are considering themselves as others in gender, then they always used to curse the patriarchy in America. They used to say that, see, America is a very patriarchal society. I don't like America, but I have rights and I have right to be in this position. Donald Trump says, see, if you hate America, if you hate it for being patriarchal, then what business do you have to serve in an government post, on a government post? Why should you serve on a government post? Why should taxpayers' money be used to pay you salary? If you don't like America, then stay away from America. You work in a private company. Let that private company wala take care of your salary. Why should taxpayers give you salary when you hate America? That's what Donald Trump says. Okay, so it should be based on two things. Hiring should be based on only two things: merit and willingness to serve America. And lastly, men should be put out of women's sport. So as I told you, in the last Olympics, there was biological man. He said that I'm a trans woman, and he was allowed to compete with a woman. And then he beated her up very badly. And then there was a huge debate all across the world that to what extent are you going to stretch DEI? Should everybody be allowed to compete with everybody? Now, in that case, men have testosterone hormone, which leads to better muscle production. So men naturally have more muscles. They are naturally stronger than their women counterparts. So how can you should always compete between like people, equal people, right? So just like, see, if you compare two things, you should compare oranges to oranges, apples to apples, mangoes to mangoes, right? Especially in wrestling, where physical prowess matters, there if you are having a person who is a male and competing with a female, obviously the male has advantage of their sex hormone, that is testosterone, so they have better muscles. They are at an advantage. This is not a fair competition. That's what Donald Trump said. This is not a fair competition, and we will stop this from happening. Men have to compete with men, females have to compete with females. Okay, so that is what all these executive orders say. So all of them, that is why I have grouped them together, and I told you in short that all these executive orders in general together mean this. Now then there is another group, military role in securing military's role in securing borders, refugee admission program, revoked citizenship by birth, securing our borders, protection against invasion. So as you can guess, all of them are about illegal immigration. That means they want to stop illegal immigration. So what is it in short? I'll explain it to you. Trump declared a state of emergency on US-Mexico border, thereby allowing heavy military deployment on the border. Trump always wanted to build a wall between America and Mexico. Trump always wanted to stop this infiltration of illegal immigrants from the southern border of the US. That means the border which it shares with Mexico. Now why does Trump want that? All the right wingers want this, but why? They want it because The Mexicans are not sending their brightest people to America. They are sending hooligans, they are sending those people who are druggists, rapists, murderers, maybe child molesters. They have a criminal background, right? They are not coming by a clean path. So why would someone take a donkey route? They would take a donkey route because they are not allowed to come into America naturally, normally, by normal route. So these are not classic citizens that America should have. These are the worst people that you can have in the country. Besides, Mexico has become a drug cartel of the world. So what happens is, what the right wingers of the US think, I'm not saying I think this way, but I'm saying this is what the right wingers of the US think, especially Donald Trump, his party people. They think that all the drugs coming into America, most of them come through Mexico route. So who is to blame here? Is Mexico not to blame? If Mexico as a government is failing in stopping this infiltration, then what should we do? Then we as Americans should declare a state of emergency at the US-Mexico border. When you declare state of emergency, what happens is you can deploy US Coast Guard, US means for marine, means from water if they are coming. Then you have border security force, whatever they call it in the US. So that can be employed, national guards and all these things. So all the military outfits can be deployed on that border if the border is under emergency. And that's why Trump has chosen to declare a state of emergency on the southern border of the US. Then refugee intake is stopped until 90 days. And in these 90 days, what is the US going to do? US is going to rethink that how do we take refugees? What should be our policy while taking any refugee inside? So in the Western countries, normally what is done is, this is how they accept refugees. People just have to say that, see, I have a threat in my motherland, I have a threat in my base country. Suppose I come from India, then I just have to say that, see, my life is at threat in India. If I just say that, I'll be allowed to take refuge in America. Of course, I might have to give some proper evidence. Sometimes they ask, I don't think they ask all the time, especially during Biden presidency. That's what the right wingers think, that they allowed anybody and everybody to come into America. I don't know whether this is true or false, but this is what the right wingers there think. Now, for the 90 days, we are going to stop refugee intake entirely. And we are going to reflect upon our refugee intake policy, that who should we allow to take refuge in America. We should take only those people who can fully assimilate in the American culture. If you don't even speak English, if you don't like the culture itself, you don't like American people, you have some grudge on America because they bombed your country or whatever, then please don't come to America. Don't take refuge in our country. If you hate America, don't take refuge. Can you assimilate fully in America? If this assimilation is not possible due to any reason, maybe you don't speak the language, maybe you don't understand the culture, or you don't like to understand the culture, you hate this culture, or maybe you're a radical Islamist, and in Islam, suppose you feel that the world is divided amongst Mu'mins, that is Muslims, and Kafirs, that is infidels, and you think that this is an infidel country. If you have so many notions in your mind, then you are not fitted to come here as a refugee. We will reject your refugee status. We won't take you as a refugee. That's what Donald Trump says now. That first of all, the person should be able to fully assimilate in the US culture. Second is, they should not pose any security threats. Suppose we take a person from a Muslim country, he has ties with Al-Qaeda, he has some other ties with some other terrorist organization, and maybe they can be used as mules over here, maybe to carry information, to smuggle things inside. Anything can be done, right? So they can pose a security threat. That's what Trump thinks. And so Trump is saying that we have to rethink this refugee intake policy, and Trump has suggested that these are the two criteria that you should always consider while taking any refugee. One is they should be able to fully assimilate in the US, and the second is they should not pose any security threat to the US. And lastly, birthright citizenship has been revoked. So birthright citizenship, where did it come from? So it came when Civil Rights Act was enacted in 1964. So at that time they said that African Americans also have a right to vote, women also have a right to vote and everything. Slavery was abolished. Okay, now when that was done, there was also one amendment which was done in the constitution, and they said that everybody who's born in America is by default the citizen of America. So by this, what they meant is, the makers or the amenders of the constitution at that time, what they meant to say is, those people which you brought in the country as slaves from Asia, Africa, if their children are born on this soil, then they are American citizens. Treat them as equals. So it was meant for that. But in today's world, what is happening is, this is one of the most misused law in America. So what people do is, they just cross the US-Mexico border. Now the right-wingers say this. Now this is a very sensitive issue. I'm not saying it, I'm not expressing my views, but this is what the right-wingers say. The Donald Trump party people say this. I'm not sure whether this is true or false, and if this is false, then they should be ashamed of themselves of accusing this kind of things on people. But still, this is what the right-wingers say. This is not my opinion. The right-wingers say that, a woman is pregnant and she comes into America with a malicious intent that the pregnancy should happen in America so that her baby gets US citizenship. And then both the parents stay in America because they have to take care of the baby. And then gradually they also naturalize and they also get the citizenship, or at least they get permanent residency of United States. Then they can apply for a citizenship also. So what the right wingers say is that this law is getting misused. Another example that they gave is, let us say that many people in America also, suppose a person in America, they ask for money from people coming through the Mexico route. Okay, suppose there is a Chinese person, there is a Pakistani person, there is a Bangladeshi person. They are willing to pay, let us say, 50 lakh rupees just so that they can enter into America and start working. Then suppose that's a man. A woman in America can say, that's, give me those 50 lakh rupees or 50 lakh dollars, and what I'll do is I'll marry you here. Okay, and then you'll get citizenship by the virtue of marriage, and when we reproduce, when your baby gets born, then that baby will of course be a US citizen. So win-win situation for both of us, don't you think? That's what the right wingers say. I'm not saying someone can stoop to that level and people can do that. I don't believe so, but the right wingers think that way. And Donald Trump, being a right winger too, he says birthright citizenship should be revoked. Okay, and that's what he is doing. Now a little caveat I'm trying to explain here, that what is H1B visa, what is green card, also called as permanent residency, that is PR, and what is citizenship. So H1B is a temporary thing and you are tied to one company, so you are tied to the employer. You cannot change the company. But if you work for that employer for long enough, then you can apply for a green card, also called as permanent residency. If you have permanent residency, then you can change the employer also. You can stay for as long as you want. H1B visa, at one time they allow only 3 years, and it can be extended for 3 more years. So total, max to max, you can stay on an H1B visa for 6 years. Now within these 6 years, you should be applying for green card. After 5 years only, I guess people apply for green card. So you should be doing that. If you don't do it, then okay, tata bye bye, go back to your country. So this is the difference between H1B visa and green card. And then after having green card, then you can apply for citizenship. Directly you cannot apply for citizenship from H1B visa. Okay, so this is the sequence: H1B visa, green card, and then citizenship. Now as per this new rule, as per this new executive order which Donald Trump has passed, at least one of the two parents must have either a green card or should be citizen. Both of them cannot be H1B visa people. Okay, suppose both husband and wife, both of them are H1B visa people and they have a child in America, then the child won't be an American citizen, because you are anyways there in America only for 6 years. You are not even permanently going to stay here, right? Now let us say that one of the parents has a green card or a citizenship, then they are permanently going to stay in America. That one parent at least is going to stay. The other parent can have H1B visa, it's okay. Then the born child will be a US citizen. Got the idea? So this is how the rules have changed now. Now again another group of executive orders, restoring death penalty, foreign terror, national security, public safety, and designating cartels as terrorists. So all of them are about internal security. So before this we saw externally he wants to seal the borders, he wants to stop the refugees, he wants to stop the infiltration, birthright citizenship should be stopped. So it was all to stop wrong people from entering America. But this group of executive orders is about what to do when people have already entered. Then what should we do? We should restore the death penalty. So Joe Biden had this thing in his mind, or all the leftist people normally have this thing in their mind. Even in India they say that capital punishment, that means executing somebody, means killing somebody for the heinous crimes that they have done. That capital punishment should be struck off. No one should be killed by the law. And the maximum punishment permissible by law should be life imprisonment. Okay, so Donald Trump says that life imprisonment is not as big a deterrent as death penalty is, and unless you have death penalty, at least for the heinous crimes, you cannot deter people from not committing those heinous crimes. By heinous crimes, the right wingers usually mean murder, raping somebody, maybe molesting a child. That kind of crimes are actually heinous crimes. Now what Biden did is in December last year, Biden had pardoned 37 murderers, rapists, child molesters. Now since this is presidential pardon, it's a superpower that a president has. Once a person is pardoned, they can never be held liable for any crime that it did. They cannot be punished again. Okay, if they are pardoned for lifetime. Okay, now even now Biden has gone and Trump has come, still Trump cannot overrule pardon, presidential pardon. Presidential pardon is like such a thing. So now the best that Trump can do is, Trump is now saying that, you know, these 37 people, now they must be facing jail time, right? Some of them must be having life imprisonment, some of them must be having XYZ years of imprisonment. Now what Trump is saying is, make the jail conditions match the severity of their crime. If he was a child molester, or if she was a child molester, then they should be treated like child molester in jail also. Suppose someone has just done theft, okay, someone has cut somebody's pocket, okay, so they should not be given a very harsh treatment in jail. But then what about those people who committed heinous crimes like this? Shouldn't their jail conditions be a little tougher as compared to regular prison inmates, right? So that's what Donald Trump has said. Then visa issuance is made stricter now. They say that whenever visa is to be issued, visa means permission to enter the country for whatever reason. You might be taking refuge, for that there is a visa. You might be willing to work, for that there is a visa. You might be coming there just for entertainment, just to look around, just to spend your money in Las Vegas, let's say. That is also, there is a visa for that also. or maybe your company has called you for working for stipulated time, that is also a visa. So all these visas, while issuing these visas, you should be careful that the people entering the US do not hate US. Means, as I told you earlier also, some DEI people also, if they hate the US, then they should not be in the government positions. Similarly, if a person already hates the US, let us say somebody coming from Iran, suppose he has all through his life he has heard in Iran that America has destroyed our country, and now he is willing to come into America, then American visa people should ask them that how much comfortable they are with the American culture, can you speak in English, do you like America in general? And if they say no, you are infidels, we don't like it at all, then don't give visa to such a person. Okay, that's what Donald Trump is saying. And then thirdly, cartels. By cartels here they mean drug cartels. Cartels means organized group of criminals is called as cartels. So those cartels who smuggle drugs are called as drug cartels. So now Mexico has become a hub of drugs. There are certain regions in Mexico which are not even under the control of the Mexican government. Drug cartels run it. For all practical purposes, drug cartels rule those regions. Now what Donald Trump is saying in one of the executive orders is that drug cartels should be treated like terrorists, because just like terrorists, they lead to killing of so many innocent citizens of America. So why don't I treat you like terrorists? And see the magic now. If you treat them as terrorists, then you can take military action on them. Just like India conducted surgical strike inside POK or air strike inside Pakistan. Why could we do it? Because those were terrorists. You can do it for terrorists, and that would not be considered as a declaration of war. See, if you go and kill a Pakistani person, or civilian or military person, then it will be considered as an act of war. But if you are killing a terrorist, then it is not act of war. That's why Donald Trump has very intelligently declared them as terrorists. Now as soon as they are terrorists, they can be targeted. So now the US military can go inside Mexico, and wherever such regions are there where even Mexican government can't do much, where these regions are completely under control of the drug cartels, the US Marines can go there, decimate this strongholds of the drug cartels, and then bring some peace in that region, and we can be more proactive in stopping the drug cartels infiltration in the US. So that's why this is a very intelligent move. I liked it. Now another group is saying another group of executive orders. America first in international environmental agreements, holding the ban on TikTok. Holding the ban means Biden, while leaving, he banned TikTok. Okay. Now Trump is saying, oh, hold on, let the ban not be implemented for 75 days. That is called holding the ban. Okay. Then US withdrawal from World Health Organization, re-evaluating the foreign aid given by the US, and America first in foreign policy. So all these are about putting America first. So Trump withdrew from Paris Climate Accord. Why? Because now what is the politics here? I'll tell you. Paris Climate Accord says that you cannot use fossil fuels because there is climate change. So all the countries should come together and have an accord. Accord means they come and resolve something, means make a resolution amongst themselves. That is accord. So many countries came together, including US, before Trump presidency, and they said that we will try to stop global warming. So for that, what should we do? We should stop the use of fossil fuels. Okay, for that, what should we do? We should bring in more and more EVs. And they went to such an extent that California state it said that by so and so year, I think by 2030, we will only be having electric cars in our state. Now understand the condition of US over here. Trump believes that US has the maximum reserves of oil, natural gas and coal. But exploration itself is not done. Why? Because all these environmental things come in the way. Okay, they say no, fossil fuels don't go towards. What Trump says is, this is liquid gold below our feet. We have it and we are not using it for the betterment of our country. And then we are importing the same oil from other countries like Saudi Arabia. We have more oil than Saudi Arabia. Why should we not extract that? Now the environmentalists say that the system that you will be using is fracking or franking system is there, and it leads to a lot of environmental damage. What is it? I'll tell you. Means in short, I also don't know for sure what it is, but US has shale oil. Shale oil means within rocks this oil is trapped. So you have to first create a crack in the rock or break the rock, split it open. For that you have to use dynamite, you have to blow the mountains. The ecosystem gets disturbed due to this, right? Obviously it gets disturbed. It's not like in Saudi Arabia, or it's not like in Qatar has gas reserves. So Qatar's gas reserves are usually, you just, drill a hole and you can get it. In America, that's not the way. You have to break the rock. You cannot drill in the rock. No? The rock is very, very hard. You cannot drill. So you have to blow it with a dynamite, and so ecological imbalance will be created. Now, Trump says, who cares? I care only about my citizens. I don't care about the entire planet. I am the president of America. I am not president of the entire globe. So stop worrying me about these environmental things. And that's why he pulled out of Paris Climate Accord. Then he says he also withdrew from World Health Organization. Now what is the politics here? Trump says that China has 3 times the population of the US, and still it pays 90% lesser than what America pays for WHO. What is WHO? WHO is just one department in United Nations. Just like UNICEF is one department, just like that, this is also one department. Now, WHO is for everybody in the world, right? So, all the countries should pay equally to WHO to keep it going, right? But why does US take majority of the share of that burden? US pays it a lot, and okay, we are still able to, we may be willing to pay also. But then how does WHO behave? When there was COVID-19 crisis, then WHO did not even name it as China virus. They did not even acknowledge that the virus came from China. It means you favor China so much that you didn't even call it Chinese virus. For all the other viruses, you used to call, by the region, like flu, Spanish flu, because it originated in Spain. When you name everything as per the country that it came from, in case of COVID-19, why couldn't you call it a Chinese virus? And Trump was the only person at that time who was saying it's a Chinese virus. Okay, let me give you a disclaimer here. These are not my views. These are Trump's views. These are right-wingers in America's views. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Now, that is the whole politics that was behind pulling out from World Health Organization. Then re-evaluating all the foreign financial aid. 90 days pause for all the foreign aid. So what US is saying is, see, if there is a war between Ukraine and Russia, why should US give aid to Ukraine? What have I got to do with it? Many right-wingers in the US are feeling that, you don't have proper facilities within US. You don't want to give good health care, you don't want to give good education, your housing prices are skyrocketing, and you have all the money in the world to give as aid to Ukraine. How much did US give to Ukraine so far? See, US aid to Ukraine so far. US has given 174 billion US dollars to Ukraine till now. Now let me say something in Hindi. पैसे पेड़ पे उगते हैं क्या? This I mean, money does not grow on trees, right? So this money is coming from the taxpayers' money. This is taxpayers' money. This is coming from the taxes. Why do people pay tax? So that they get good infrastructure, good health facility, good education. Are you giving all these things? No. What are you doing? You are helping some other country that I might not even associate myself with. Why do I care as a US citizen? Why should I care what is happening in Ukraine? Does it have any effect on America? Not at all. By a long shot, you don't have any effect. Still, I'm paying my taxes and you're spending those taxes. 174 billion is a huge amount now. So that's why Donald Trump said that all such foreign financial aid should be stopped immediately, and it should stay stopped for the next 90 days. Now this 90 days is a huge bracket. In this 90 days, definitely there will be some peace between Russia and Ukraine, and this is also a way to stop Ukraine from fighting. See, if you keep on supporting Ukraine with money and with all the weapons, Ukraine will fight till the end of the world, yaar. Why will it stop fighting? So you have to dry them out. Russia, you have to let Russians know that, see, we have sanctioned you. There are so many sanctions put on Russia. Why? Because we want to dry you out. Similarly, now Donald Trump is saying, let's dry Ukraine out also. Okay, and so that they can reach a consensus over the time, and they can come to a peace agreement. So this is Trump's pressure tactic. But in this thing, he has excluded Israel. US is still giving aid to Israel, and that aid is unaffected. Why is that unaffected? I'll tell you. Because right-wingers in the US also feel that Israel has to be supported and radical Islam has to be encountered, and Israel is their superpower in the Middle East. Israel is kind of a puppet of the West, more precisely of the US. So if US has to have control in the Middle East, they have to keep supporting Israel. And that's why that has not stopped even during the Trump era. Although Trump is very transactional, Trump always says that what's in it for me, I won't support NATO also, what's in it for me. Even then, in case of Israel, Trump does not use that transactional attitude. Trump says, okay, Israel, we have to do it, right? Okay, now America first in foreign policy. So, see, first of all, foreign aid has to be stopped for 90 days. We have to rethink how much of this aid, see, how will you decide whether the aid should be given or not? So, it is based on your foreign policy, and your foreign policy should be America first. So, you should always think that by giving this aid, am I going to get more money back, or am I going to get some strategic advantage in the region, or am I going to, what am I going to get for the citizens of America? Don't do it for the goodness of your heart. Oh, we like justice, and Russia has done something horrible as per Americans. I'm not saying I think so, as per Americans. So if Russia, oh my God, someone has to bring Russia to justice and let's do it. No. Trump says that should not be our foreign policy. Our foreign policy should be, what am I getting for the American people? If I get something, then I'll spend money, and I'll spend only that much money. Means it should be in proportion to how much benefit my American citizens are getting. That is called as America First foreign policy. And then instead of banning TikTok, so I told you that Biden had banned TikTok in America, and Trump said that, see, let's put a hold on this ban. So that hold is only for 75 days. If within the 75 days, if nothing happens, then the ban will once again take effect. That means automatically TikTok will stay banned. Okay. But this 75 days window is given by Trump to TikTok. Actually, Skydance is the company, and TikTok is just the app that they have developed. So it is a chance for TikTok that, do you want to sell 50% of your stake to any US company? So you will be part Chinese, part American. Besides, whatever you do in the board of directors meeting, 50% of the board of directors will be from America. They will know in and out about your company. So if you are selling some IP, means intellectual property, or some information about any of your subscribers, if you're selling or if you're sharing it with the People's Republic of China, then these American directors can inform the government, and then government can quickly take some action like banning TikTok forever. Donald Trump also has one logic over here that he gives, that TikTok will also gain a lot from this. See, now you are banned. He says now you are banned, Biden banned you. So now you lose so much of a market. America was a huge market. I guess how many people in America use TikTok? TikTok user base in America or US. Huge. I mean 120.5 million TikTok users were there. So definitely, it's a huge loss for the company. So Trump is now saying that, see, the loss is already done unless you try to strike a deal with me. So either you lose everything or you gain a lot of money with partnership. So if you come into America, means if you come back to America, if we allow you to stay here, then you are going to earn, let's say, 1 trillion or something like that, he said. Either on one side, if you strike a deal with me, if you give 50% stake to an American company, if you work in partnership with an American company, that means if you become half American company, then you will get so much of a user base in America and it will work for you. Otherwise, we will ban you. And if we ban you, then you lose all these users, then you think of yourself what will happen. That is a deal that Donald Trump has flung in the way of TikTok, and the ball is in TikTok's court now. Let them decide in the next 75 days. Then there are these orders unleashing American energy, national energy emergency, unleashing Alaska potential. All of them say about energy independence. So what they mean is, the US is blessed with natural resources but doesn't extract them due to environmental concerns. I have explained it to you earlier. Trump believes that the USA has the largest oil, gas and coal deposits in the world, especially the western coast, northeastern coast and Alaska. Okay. Now see, this is what Trump believes. He has not said, he has said this also in the order, in one of the orders, but or in multiple orders probably he has said this, in 2 orders he has said this, I guess. But this is not a profound truth, because no one has explored how much oil America has in Alaska. No one has explored how much gas or coal is there. This is what Trump thinks. Now, although Trump only thinks about it, it doesn't mean that it is absolutely unfound. Trump has a lot of resources. The entire right wing has a lot of resources. So these must be very profound things. I don't know, but I called it not profound because no one has investigated so far, or at least it's not in the public knowledge as far as I could see it. Okay, so this is what Trump believes. But Trump is an informed person. Trump has a lot of resources to his disposal. He was also president in the earlier term. Maybe there are many secret reports also that come to the president, which are never made public. So I don't know whether such a survey has already happened or not. Probably no one will ever come to know unless the US declassifies it. Okay, but this is what Trump always says, that we have so much of liquid gold under our feet. In all his rallies, he said this, that we have so much of gold, we need to extract it, in most of his rallies. Okay, now declaring national energy emergency only means that the energy can be explored, extracted, used and even exported rapidly. So what America thinks is, or what Trump thinks is, if we have so much of oil, then why do we import oil from Saudi Arabia? Let me be an exporter. And even in the first term of Trump also, America became a net exporter of oil. Now he says, let's become a big exporter. We have the biggest oil reserves. Why don't we export the maximum? This will solve 2 purposes. One is the oil prices will come down. Now, oil prices benefit countries like Russia, because the only bread and butter that Russia gains it from is either oil or natural gas, okay, either those resources, or by selling weapons. Now Russian weapons anyways, nobody other than India or some countries who are like Iran, who are against America, only these people, a few people only take Russian weapons. Even China is self-sufficient in weapons now. China doesn't import. India has reduced the import a lot. So from that source Russia is not getting any money, or even now it is getting, but maybe in the future it might not get so much of money. But natural gas, oil, entire Europe is buying natural gas from Russia. Shouldn't that be stopped? Why doesn't Europe purchase gas from me, from America? I am able to give it to you. Of course it will be costlier because there is no pipeline, and the ships will be there, and it will cost a lot, but that's what America wants to do, that they want to export it. Then if we have so much of oil, then why do countries like India depend upon oil coming from Iran, oil coming from Russia? Why don't we export so much? So while exporting, suppose even if India does not take oil from America, India still takes oil from Russia, then also if US also puts a lot of oil in the market, then the oil prices overall globally will go down. So Russia will also be forced to sell the oil at an even dirt cheap price, right? So if that is the case, then Russia is again losing on the money, right? So either ways, if America extracts these natural resources from beneath their feet, I mean that's what Trump says, that he thinks that America will be energy independent, and America will be an energy powerhouse. America will be energy superpower, okay, and all the environmental laws are still in place. So these orders, the only change that they make is now exploration, extraction, use and export of natural resources will be fastened, the speed will increase, but you still have to follow all the environmental laws. So this is not a waiver, this is not saying okay, don't care about environment at all. Trump says you have to, means although Trump might want that environmental laws should not be, but he has not said so directly in the orders, and in fact in the orders he has also mentioned that these means all the environmental laws as may be applicable by the law must be followed. So by that I have concluded that environmental laws are still in place, they are unbudged, they are not budged at all, they are still there. Now this one, restoring names that honor the US. So this one is about American pride. So there are two names, the names of two places have been renamed by Trump. So Mount McKinley is the highest peak in North America. In 1917 it was named as Mount McKinley to honor the work of President William McKinley. William McKinley led the US in the US-Spanish War, okay, and he expanded the US borders also, and he very efficiently used tariffs to protect and promote American manufacturing. So these are all the things that Trump also says, that tariff is the most beautiful word in the dictionary. You should impose proper tariffs, you should be wise to import tariffs, and you can make any country do whatever you like based on your tariffs. So he always likes to use tariffs to his advantage. Now President William McKinley also did the same, and that's why for all his work he was awarded the honor that this peak will be named after you, okay. But then in 2015 Obama renamed it to Denali. Why Denali? Because Denali is the name of that peak in the local tribal language of Alaska. So this peak is in Alaska. So Alaska has a tribe and a local tribe, okay, and that tribe has this name. So Obama being a left winger, Obama being a leftist, he would say that, see, colonialism is bad. He would say that, the local tribal population should be, considered, their rights should be upheld. And so we should give them some respect by calling the peak as Denali peak. Now, while he was correct, Obama was correct in his way, but the right-wingers had a sentimental value for that peak. They had a sentimental value for William McKinley, the president. And that's why they thought that this is going against your country's honor. And that's why I'm saying that American pride. So it has gone against, means as per the right-wingers of America, they feel it has gone against the American pride. And that's why when Trump came to power, he has one presidential order, executive order, which says rename Mount McKinley to Mount McKinley. I mean, rename Denali Peak to Mount McKinley again. Okay. And the second thing that the same executive order says is rename Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Now here you decide up to yourself. I am not giving opinion, but let me show you where it is. Gulf of Mexico. Okay, now this is America, this Gulf. Now this Gulf can be called as Gulf of America also, and this Gulf can be called as Gulf of Mexico also. But still, probably the Americans showed a large heart and they said, okay, let's call it Gulf of Mexico. Now Trump says, why should we show you a large heart? What's in it for me? If we are also on one side of the Gulf, then why can't we call it the Gulf of America? I'll also show you Gulf of Mexico in map. This is Gulf of Mexico. Now if you see the territory, see Cuba is also there, Bermuda, Bahamas is also there. And if you compare only the coastline, maybe Mexico and America both have almost equal amount of coastline. So both the countries have quite amount of say in who should the baby named after. But America says, okay, name it after us. Or at least we Americans will call it Gulf of America. Now you call it whatever the hell you like. I'm using the language of right-wingers. I don't want to say hell. But this is what the right-wingers normally, this is how they talk. They would normally say that, do whatever the hell you want. It is Gulf of America. We'll call it this way. You do whatever you like. Okay, then finally this is another group saying ending federal censorship, ending weaponization of federal government, government election interference and info leak. All these three are for bringing Biden government to justice or correcting the wrongdoings of the earlier Biden government. So what it says is we are ending the federal censorship and weaponization of federal government. So what is that? So Trump says that in Biden rule, what used to happen is if you said anything against the government, then you would be censored out. There is a term called as cancel culture. So similarly, government would also censor you out. Okay, till there also it is a little bearable. Censoring means not listening to me, that's okay, or not allowing me to speak in public, that's also okay. But they would weaponize the federal government as per Trump. So Trump is saying that Biden administration put so many cases against people who were Trump supporters, and they completely neglected all the hooliganism, in Trump's words, done by those people who did Black Lives Matter movement, BLM movement. There they burnt so many shops, they almost burnt cities, that's as per Trump. You did not put any court cases against them. And when there was Capitol Hill incident, you put a court case, you put court cases against 1,500 plus Trump supporters. So what had happened at that time is, it was during that time when Trump's presidency was coming to an end, there were elections, and the right-wingers, that means Trump supporters, believed that the elections were rigged, and Biden came to power, and that too by a very narrow margin. So Trump supporters felt that the margin is so narrow that it can be fudged. You must have there was some voter fraud, something has happened, and many people believed into that. Of course, left-wingers say that Trump did fake news and he ignited people's sentiments, and then whatever, I'm not giving an opinion, but then a lot of people came to the Capitol Hill. Capitol Hill is in Washington DC. It is the place where White House is. So they came to Capitol Hill and they tried to enter. Now when they tried to enter, this is called as rioting by left-wingers. They called it as rioting. They say that these are not patriots, although they had American flags with them. These are not patriots. How can you be patriots if you are rioting? That too on Capitol Hill, such a prestigious place for US democracy. Now the Trump supporters had a different point of view. They said none of us carried weapons, and all of us have weapons back at our home. We have a lot of weapons, but we still did not bring any weapons because we did not want to riot. It was the heat of the moment. Some people entered, and while entering, you did not stop us while entering, by the way. There was no tear gas. You did not force too much. And yeah, people were also in such a mood that they were climbing up they were climbing up the walls and they were entering and all. So that also happened. So now it's a contentious issue. Contentious issue means something that can be debated upon. Both the parties have very heated opinions about them, so I am not giving any opinion. Now Trump, being a right-winger, Trump said that all these people were wrongly persecuted by the government, and that is called as weaponization of the federal government. So we stop it immediately. You say whatever you want, means you express whatever views you have. You should not be persecuted for that. Persecute means अन्याय करना, अत्याचार करना किसी के ऊपर, and you should not be prosecuted for that. Prosecuted means आपके ऊपर केस करना. So persecution or prosecution of people based on their faith, belief, or maybe political opinions should be stopped immediately. That's what Trump is saying. And Trump is also saying that these 1,500 people were prosecuted out of political vendetta. Vendetta यानी बदला. So we release them, we give them presidential pardon. Now even amongst them, 6 people are still not pardoned. This is what many news outlets are not telling you. 6 people are still not pardoned. So I will really want to know what these 6 people have done so much that you don't want to pardon them. So no one is talking about these 6 people who are still trapped in the grips of law. While Trump has right to pardon people, why did he not pardon these 6 people? Okay. Then he also instructed investigation into the role of 51 CIA personnel in giving clean check to Hunter Biden, that is Joe Biden's son, in laptop info leak case. The case exposed his dealings with some entities in Ukraine and China. Due to this, election results also got affected. So I'll tell you what the matter was. This matter blew out of the proportion because it happened just before the US elections. Okay, so the presidential campaign was going on. Biden was fighting against Trump. Everything was happening. Okay, and Trump was the president at that time. So some CIA officials, some CIA personnels, let me just find out when that happened. Hunter Biden laptop here. Oh, my bad, I stand corrected. This Hunter Biden case happened during Biden presidency. Okay, when Biden was in power. Hunter Biden is Biden's son. So it is believed that this Hunter Biden had dealings with Ukraine, people in Ukraine. Entities means either people or groups or institutes. They can be government institutes also, or they can be intelligence agencies also of a government. Okay, so Hunter Biden had contacts with entities in Ukraine and China. This is what the right-wingers in the US believe. And how did this get exposed? This got exposed because Hunter Biden forgot his laptop, he gave his laptop for repair, and while the laptop was at repairs, then somehow this thing leaked out that the laptop has entry of so many dealings that he was doing with entities in Ukraine and China. So it was a huge news at that time. And then Biden must be willing to suppress this. This is what right-wingers say. So if Biden was willing to suppress them, then 51 CIA personnels gave clean chit to Hunter Biden. They said, there's nothing like that. It's fake news, fake news, fake news. Now, at that time, Biden was the president. So the CIA reported to Biden ultimately. So Biden made this happen. That's what right-wingers are saying. I'm not saying. So now when Trump is in power, he's saying that now these 51 CIA personnel will be prosecuted. We will see, not prosecuted also. What he said is they will be investigated. They should be investigated. And he has named all these 51 CIA personnel. I'll show you. Actually, I found only 50, but I'll show you. Means just to let you know how detailed out it is, and how much Trump is really willing to, bring them to justice. So Trump, second presidency, I think, this one. So here and here. Okay, so here if you see, it lists these CIA people. So there are only 50 names as far as I've seen. But somewhere I read that 51 also. I read 51 somewhere. 51 former CIA officials. Okay. So I have read in detail only, don't worry. I have not made mistakes in my PPTs, but still, if you want to check furthermore, then feel welcome to read on whitehouse.gov. Okay. So that is it. That was first day of Donald Trump. Second day, he signed one more executive order. He says, restoring merit-based opportunity. Now, once again, he's talking about DEI only. He's saying after passing the Civil Rights Act in 1964, the US has always supported equal opportunities for all, irrespective of their race and sex. But after DEI came into effect, people with certain genders and race were being preferred by the government and companies to show themselves more DEI friendly. So this has to stop. Hereby, all such illegal preferences are abolished in favor of merit. So that is what this order means. Then there is one more executive order. On the third day, he signed one more. Okay. So Ansar Allah is a terrorist organization. So they have declared Ansar Allah as a terrorist organization. Now many of you might not be aware of what is Ansar Allah. Ansar Allah is just another name of Houthis. I told you that the right-wingers in the US think that Iran finances 3 terrorist organizations, all of them starting from letter H. Hamas in Gaza, that means Palestine. Gaza and West Bank are together called as Palestine. Means they are ruled by a government which is called as Palestine. So Gaza operates, Hamas operates from Gaza. Then there is another one, Houthis. Houthis operate from Syria. They have taken, Yemen. So Houthis operate from Yemen. They have captured most of Yemen, or maybe half of Yemen. It should not be most, I think it is half of Yemen they have captured, and they did it in 2014-15. Okay, so Donald Trump came into power in 16. So this was before Donald Trump came to power, and ever since then half of Yemen is under control of Houthis. I'll correct this, not most, half of Yemen. Okay, now this is the second H terrorist organization. The third terrorist organization that right-wingers of US think that Iran supports is Hezbollahs, and Hezbollahs operate from Lebanon. And now very recently you must have heard, a month ago almost, that there was pager attack on those Houthis, and then Houthis leadership is almost decimated, and Houthis will no longer operate so much vagara. So all these things are about Houthis. So these are the 3H, means these 3 terrorist organizations which Iran funds. That's what the right wingers of the US think. So out of them, Houthis are also called as Ansar Allah. So now the US has officially declared them as a terrorist outfit. Okay, now since and why, on what grounds? You have to give grounds. Why would you call somebody a terrorist? Because they keep targeting US ships, Israeli ships, Western country ships. Okay, obviously, as the name suggests, it's a radical Islamic terrorist organization. So due to radical Islamist mindset, they attack the West because they feel West are infidels. Okay, and that's why they have to be declared as designated terrorists. So they have designated them as terrorists. Now what will happen due to this? So due to this, the US is now also saying that let us identify all those who support Ansar Allah, that is Houthis. Who supports them? Of course they will try to pin it down on Iran, but they will also try to find out who are the facilitators of Houthis on American soil. Are there infiltrated people inside America who work in favor of this terrorist organization? They should be tracked down, and they should be, they should be caught, and then maybe they should be, now I should not use the word, but they should be tortured so that they tell the names of even bigger fishes, and then slowly and gradually we will get these Houthis under control. Okay, so very, very bad days are coming for Houthis. Very, very bad days are coming in the US. Okay, now on the 4th day he has signed 4 executive orders, or he is still signing executive orders. Digital finance tech. So Trump's working group is created. Within the next 30 days it will review the future of digital asset markets and suggest the steps that US should take to ensure that US dollar remains strong in the age of cryptocurrency. See, what is happening nowadays is centralized central banks are there, right? Central bank controls a certain currency. Like in the US it is US dollar, in India it is Indian national rupee, in Pakistan it is Pakistan national rupee. Okay, so these are central currencies that central bank prints, or not central bank prints or operates at least. Okay, now suppose there is a cryptocurrency. If there is cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, then Bitcoin is not regulated by anyone. How is Bitcoin controlled? Bitcoin is mined, first of all. Mine means to find a unique number all across the world. So a huge computational power is required to find out a very long number that no one has found ever. So that is how bitcoins are mined. Okay, once the bitcoins are mined, they are shared across people. So how is it done? Of course it's just a fictitious thing, it's a number. So you don't have currency notes, you just say, okay, I'll transfer these many bitcoins over the wire to you online. Okay, so that is so all transaction is online. If it is online, no one is regulating it, especially the central banks of the countries are not regulating it, right? Now due to this, what happens? This currency is not be or cannot be tracked by the government. So many terrorists, many drug traffickers, or many organ trafficking people, whenever they have to move money from one place to another, they don't do it in terms of US currency, they do it in terms of Bitcoin or any other Lima, let us say, or any other cryptocurrency. So many countries in the world, all across the world, see what happens in World Economic Forum, countries come together and they discuss about these topics only, that what should we do. So what they're planning to do is the deep state, means the right wingers think that the deep state wants to move away from such hard currencies like US dollar, and they want everything digital. This is what is a conspiracy theory. Now what right-wingers think is we are patriots, we will not let this happen, dollar should remain strong and all, and besides, if you are using Bitcoin for all such malicious purposes, then Bitcoin should be banned. So right-wingers are always against Bitcoin, left-wingers are always about freedom. Left-wingers always think, like Joe Biden's party, they'll always think that, people should have a right to decide. Oh, why do you restrict people so much? Oh, if they want to deal in Bitcoin, let that be there, let that happen organically, I don't care. So that is the ideological debate between the two parties. Now, Donald Trump has set up this working group, and he said that please you come up with a detailed analysis that where is crypto going. Now, there are two alternatives in front of Donald Trump. Either he'll say that in America, digital currencies are not recognized, they are illegal in America. Just like in India, we have said that all the digital currencies are illegal in India. You cannot work with digital currencies in India because we know it is used for drug trafficking, it is used for terrorism. So that is first option in front of Donald Trump. Second option is that Donald Trump might say that all other currencies, all other cryptocurrencies are illegal, but we Americans will give you one cryptocurrency. If you really want to work with crypto, then let it be regulated by the government of US. Okay, and that can be like e-dollar. Just like in India, we have e-rupaya, e-rupee. Just like that, America might also have e-dollar, and that's what I also think, that Donald Trump will do this only. He'll ban all other cryptocurrencies and he'll keep only one cryptocurrency that America will regulate. If America has to regulate it, then America needs a lot of computational power also for mining them. Then they have to keep record. So whenever any transaction happens using any cryptocurrency, then the record is kept by everybody in the world who has any amount of Bitcoin. They have record of that transaction. So that kind of a bookkeeping has to be done. So that is done using blockchain. So for blockchain also you require a lot of computational power, and that is why we will come to the next order that he has given about AI. So we require, Americans require a lot of computational power now. Okay, so it will be chaired by special advisor of the crypto. I've given who chaired and who all are part of that working group. Okay. Now I'll come to this a little later. Let me first jump to AI, and before that let me come to science and technology. Yeah. So here AI, quantum computing and biotech, they have been mentioned in this order. That's why I'm mentioning that these are the new budding fields, and we should put our research into it, because whosoever controls these fields will have control over the world. That kind of a language is used in this order. Then they say that we need to establish a President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology, in short PCAST, with people from academia, industry and government. And then Biden also had such a council, Trump has another council. So Trump has struck down Biden's council and he has put his own council in place. So this is not a very important thing he has done. Biden also had this kind of a council. What matters is if this council gives a good suggestion and Trump is able to implement it, then it will matter. At the moment it doesn't matter so much. This council shall terminate after 2 years unless extended by Trump. Okay, so it has come with a termination date also. Now next thing is artificial intelligence. So within 180 days an action plan is to be prepared to ensure the US dominance in AI. So in this order Donald Trump says that US has always been on the forefront of AI, and now we also want to continue this. Now other players are catching up, like China, India, right? So we want to stay as market leaders. For that, what should be done? Within the next 180 days, plan it out, let me know. Okay, Trump announced at a special press conference that this order only says that make a plan of how we will continue being the market leaders in AI. That is it. It ends there. Okay, the order ends there. But these point number 2, 3 and 4, these I'm telling you from press what has happened, from media what has happened. Trump announced at a special press conference at White House that 3 big IT players have come together to bid 500 billion US dollars for AI. Sam Altman from OpenAI company, Larry Ellison from Oracle company, and Masayoshi Son from SoftBank. SoftBank is a company which has holdings in various other companies, so it deals with money, and it's a Japanese company. So these 3 companies have come together, or maybe their heads have come together, and they are willing to raise 500 billion US dollars for advancement in AI. Of course, this group is a private group. They will be doing it for themselves, okay, but in the long run it will help America, because after all, this company which they are forming is an American company. See, if there is Apple or Microsoft or Amazon or Facebook or Meta, Google, all these are after all American companies. America doesn't care whether it is Google or Microsoft. They only care about the fact that it should be an American company. In TikTok's case also, they are saying, okay, if you have a lot of user base, we don't mind, become American. You cannot be a Chinese or an Indian company and then be huge in America. No, that is a risk for us. So all that Trump wants is, make a company, I don't care who makes the companies, as long as you are an American company. Okay. Then Elon Musk did not like this. Why? Because Sam Altman and Elon Musk are enemies. Why? Because these two people had co-founded OpenAI company which made ChatGPT application. But later Elon Musk said that we called the company as OpenAI because we were not going to profiteer from it. It was for public service. But now what are you doing? The premium version of ChatGPT is for sale. You have to take subscription. So if you are earning money from ChatGPT, it defeats the whole purpose. We founded the company because we wanted a GPT model or AI, any kind of an AI, whether it is GPT or not, any kind of an AI, we wanted AI to be for the humanity. It should be a non-profit organization. OpenAI should be a non-profit organization, but now you are running it like a profit company. So that's why Elon Musk left OpenAI, and they hate each other. And Sam Altman is being looked upon as the next Elon Musk. So that also increases their enmity. There is a lot of fire beneath the surface, and yeah, that fire came out when Donald Trump shared a stage with Sam Altman. So obviously Elon Musk didn't like it. He immediately tweeted about it. Oh, how can they have 500 billion? They don't have that money. I have 500 billion. Come, let's work together. But Trump, instead of saying that, yes, Elon Musk, I like you, let's do it together. No, Trump stood behind Sam Altman, Larry Ellison, and Masayoshi Son. Why? Because this is called good management. In America, what the American government and by government, even Department of Justice is also part of government only. So what American government always wants is, there should not be monopoly. Like if there is Microsoft doing monopoly, then they'll say, no, this Netscape should also get some piece of it. Okay, they will not allow monopoly to happen. If Elon Musk becomes huge and there is nothing besides Elon Musk in America, then that's a huge risk. Tomorrow Elon Musk may join hands with Russia or maybe China. So what will Americans do in that case? So that's why they don't let any one person get absolute power in corporate world. So probably that is the reason why Trump sided with Sam Altman over here. And by the way, Elon is anyways getting a lot. He is working with NASA. His Starlink has grown like anything. When did Starlink start growing? During the Trump first era. So Trump has given a lot to Elon Musk already. He's running a very good, and he has also run the company very well. Okay, he's doing his job well. And besides, he's so much a right-winger that he will never side with a country like China. That will never happen. That's what at least the right-wingers believe. I feel he's just a businessman. Businessmen can side with anybody. That's what I feel. But the right-wingers in the US feel that no, Elon Musk is our man. He cannot. So in that case, Sam Altman, you cannot say the same thing about Sam Altman, Larry Ellison. These people are not so much of a right wing. They will not always stay in favor of America. They may side with whichever country gives them opportunity, like China. So probably Trump did not want them to go away towards China, and that's the reason why he created a group, or he might have encouraged creation of this group. Ideally, what we are told to believe is, or we are given to believe is that these people came together organically and they formed a group, and Trump only announced about it. But we all know we are not nuanced, we are not we are not children. We know that Trump must have spoken to all these people even before he assumed presidency. So Trump has an apple for everybody. Okay, Trump has a chocolate in his bag for everybody. For Elon Musk there is a chocolate, for Sam Altman there is a chocolate, for Satya Nadella, of course, Satya Nadella has 50% stake in, actually 49% stake in OpenAI. So when Sam Altman says something, there is backing of Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO. So lollipop is given to both of them. Now he must be having a lollipop for Jeff Bezos also. He might be having one for Apple company also. For all the big companies, big tech, for Google also, he must be having a lollipop. So he must be having lollipop for everyone. Elon Musk got his lollipop already. This lollipop was for Sam Altman. Got the idea? This is how it is. Now, but Trump supported them firmly. Okay, so these are all the things. Now, okay, one more. Yesterday, one more executive order was signed, enforcing Hyde Amendment. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Before this, we skipped one, and that is JFK, RFK and MLK Jr. So just like there is a lot of conspiracy theories floating around in India about Shastriji's death, that is assassination, death or assassination, that's the conspiracy theory, right? Or that's the conundrum, we don't know about it. And second is about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Similarly, in the US, the assassinations of these three prominent people is always debated upon, and there are a lot of conspiracy theories about it. So John F. Kennedy, he was assassinated. He was the first and the only president of America who was assassinated, and he was assassinated in 1963. 5 years later, Martin Luther King was assassinated. Martin Luther King is a civil rights leader. So I told you, Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964, means 1 year before the assassination of Kennedy. Okay, now Martin Luther King Jr. Was a big leader in support of civil rights movement. That means give equal rights to African descent people as well, if they are American. I mean, give them citizenship first of all, equal citizenship and everything. Put an end to slavery and all. So if Martin Luther King was a civil rights leader, then his assassination, many people say that in what conditions it happened, who was behind it, people should know more about it. So he was assassinated in April 1968, and in June 1968, the same year, John F. Kennedy's brother Robert Kennedy was assassinated. And all these three assassinations are contentious, means they can be debated upon. Many people debate upon them, and there are various notions that people have, that some people say that John F. Kennedy stopped war, and US has a military industrial complex, and so wars have to keep on happening to feed this military industrial complex engine. And since John F. Kennedy stopped wars globally, or was willing to do that, that's why he was assassinated, he was taken out of the way. These are all conspiracy theories. No one knows, or maybe people know also, but they don't come forward or whatever. But these things, now people need to know the truth, right? For that, see, about every person, every big assassination, especially if the people are such prominent people in the country, there is always a file on all of them, and that file is with the government. Government maintains it. So government must have researched about it, that when John F. Kennedy was assassinated, there must be some investigation done. So that investigation must have resulted in some findings. right? Some people must be held, they must be tortured only, and something must be, I mean, so whatever government knows, that should be declassified and people should be aware of that. For that, all that Trump has said in this order is prepare a plan for declassifying all the files about John F. Kennedy within next 15 days. Prepare a plan. Plan doesn't mean that after 15 days itself you will know everything about John F. Kennedy. No. Okay, in which phased manner and how many things we can expose. All the files may not get exposed, but while writing in the order he has said, make a plan for full disclosure of John F. Kennedy assassination incident. Now, although he has written full disclosure, it doesn't mean all the files are going to come out. Only plan will get created. That plan could be that, okay, 90% files we are going to let people know about. In Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's file declassification also, this is the same thing. Some files were still kept secret, right? But a huge chunk of those other files got declassified. Now, why would Modi do it? Because probably those files were showing the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, in bad light. Probably that's why he only exposed those files which gave political advantage to him. Now here, I don't think Trump is trying to take any political advantage. Trump has a very good heart in writing this order. Okay, his intentions are good. But let us see how much of it gets declassified. And then for RFK and MLK Jr., 45 days margin is given to make the plan of declassification. Again, the entire thing might not come out in public in next 45 days. Only plan may come out, and the plan may very well say that, okay, only 90% we are going to expose to the people, rest will still be kept a secret. Okay, so this is how it is. Then on 24th of Jan also one more executive order about Hyde Amendment. Hyde Amendment says that the US taxpayers' money should not be used for abortion. Now why is the US so sensitive about abortion? See, left wing says that there should be absolute freedom to people, my body, my choice. If a lady wants to abort, then it is the only person who has authority, moral authority to decide upon whether abortion should happen or not is the lady who is growing that child in her womb. Very legitimate, right? This is what the left wingers think. But the right wingers think we are predominantly a Christian country, right? And in Christianity, abortion is not allowed. And that's the only reason why the right wingers say that abortion should be avoided. But the reason that they give in public is that they say, no, we are pro-life. I don't think they care about being pro-life. The only thing that they care about is that Christianity says that abortion is illegal. That's their thing. That's the real nerve. That's the raw nerve that they have. That's why they don't want abortion. But in public, they say that, see, we are pro-life. You are pro-freedom. We are pro-life. Okay. Now, Congress has been annually enacting this Hyde Amendment for the last 5 decades. And what did this Hyde Amendment say? That the taxpayers' money won't be used for abortion. Abortion will still be legal, but it won't be subsidized by the government. Government won't, see, if you have medical insurance given by the government, like Obamacare won't cover abortion. That's what Hyde Amendment said. But in the previous administrations, Obama and Biden have tried to circumvent this Hyde Amendment, and they wanted to give government-sponsored medical insurance such that it would cover abortion also. And this is what the right-wingers don't want. Hence, the current administration, that is Donald Trump, is reinforcing Hyde Amendment. Okay? Now, in the future, what will happen? What is he planning? Let me first check whether he has signed some other agreement today. Let me just check here. It is Donald Trump after all. So let me check if he has signed any other order. No, this is the last order that he has signed so far. Okay, but now Donald Trump definitely has a plan of stopping Ukraine-Russia war also. And for that, what is his plan? So this is Trump's plan to stop Ukraine-Russia war. Till now, US alone has given 170 billion US dollars to Ukraine. Of course, other Western countries have also given their fair share of help to Ukraine, but US alone has given 175 billion. Trump has frozen all foreign aid, including Ukraine's aid, but they have exempted Israel. I've covered that already. Trump has openly said that he is open to speaking to Russia for a deal. So he is freezing out, he is drying out Ukraine. So if Ukraine does not have money and weapons, then Ukraine cannot continue that war, right? So then Ukraine will come to a discussion table. Similarly, he is trying to keep the discussion open with Russia also, that okay, see, if you want a mediator, we can mediate and we can put an end to this war. Let's stop this. So what kind of a mediation can happen and what kind of a deal can be struck? So this is what I feel will happen ultimately. Ukraine will return captured Russian land. Kurg's land is captured by Ukraine. Ukraine will most probably return it to Russia. And also Ukraine will give a promise, and America will also give a promise, that for a few years we will not include Ukraine in NATO. Okay, that is where the whole conflict started with, right? That Russia did not want Ukraine to join NATO. So this promise may be given to Russia, and in return Russia may return the captured Ukrainian land except Crimea. So Donbas region Russia may give back, but Crimea region, which was captured in 2014 itself, before Trump came to power, I don't think Russia will give it back. Okay, and that could be a ceasefire deal, not even a ceasefire, it's a war ending deal, I think. Now in this, who wins and who loses, it will be determined on the number of years. See, if Ukraine and US promise Russia that for the next 30 years or next 25 years Ukraine won't join NATO, then we will consider that, or people will consider that Russia has won the war. Suppose this number of years is like 15 to 20 years, then people might say that it's a stalemate, both the parties won, both the parties lost. Okay, fine. But if it is only 5 years or 10 years, then definitely people are going to think that Russia was such a big power and Russia could not crush Ukraine. Land captured, no land, means land was given back, nothing has happened, so Russia has lost. That is what people will perceive. Now time will tell what happens. Let me just tell you how many people, how the casualties so far in Ukraine Russia war. Russian active troops, only 500 people were killed, but many pro-Russian forces were there, so 7,500 were killed. And Ukrainian forces itself, maybe 13,000 or 14,000 are killed. Forces itself, here forces only 5,000 are killed. Civilians have died. Of course the civilians were mostly from Ukraine only. So Ukraine, as per the number of people lost, human capital lost, Ukraine has definitely lost it. But Russia has lost the prestige. I told you that Russia gains money from two things only: selling the natural resources and selling weapons. Now Russian weapons, people might have started asking that if your weapons, you say that weapons are so good, why could you not take over Ukraine? It's been how many days now? It's been so many years you are just fighting with Ukraine. So when will you take down Ukraine? So since December 2021 you are fighting. Now we are in January 2025. Come on, man, what's going on? So that's the whole long and short of it. Do let me know how you feel about this video. I have tried to cover all the points. Of course, there is index in the video description. If you want to go to a particular topic, click the timestamp ahead of that topic and the video will jump to when I have discussed that topic. Also, I'll leave a link to this study material in PDF format in the video description, and the comment section is always open. If you still have any doubts or if you want to discuss something, feel welcome to discuss in the comment section under this video. Let's create a forum kind of, that let's discuss whether whatever Trump is doing is good, bad, whether he'll be successful or not, how is the deep state going to react to this, and who will win, deep state or Donald Trump. Let's start a nice discussion in the comment section, but please use good language and try to be respectful, try to hear other side of the opinion as well, no problem. Okay, so until next time, this is Amit signing off. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you so much for seeing the video till the end. It does mean a lot to me. Could you also please see the video description? It has index, link to the study material, and also if I've shown any products in this video, then the purchase links to those products. The comment section is open for your suggestions and also for your doubts. I always answer to the first 100 comments on every single video. If you want to support my work, here's my QR code or my UPI ID is amit.shirasao@upi. Until next time, this is Amit signing off. Jai Shri Ram.